possibilities right in front of me. Oh, all the things that I could be got me feeling free. Yeah, so turn it up and shout it out, 'cause you've got something to shout about. And let the world just spin around as you go on and make more ground. And throw your hands up, you put them up high. Walk a new path and go on and let the cash fly by. And if you take some time to ask me why you always see me with a smile, I'll tell you that life is great, life is great, life is good, life is beautiful. You gotta give it all you got, everything you got to give. Time to shine, time to live. Life is great, life is great, life is good, life is beautiful. Now you're living out your dream with your hopes up high. Your only limit is sky. Standing in a brand new place, I feel the sunshine on my face. The weather's good, the day is bright. I watch it turn from dark to light and keep the music going, keep the good times rolling. And now I'll never let it stop. You'll only find me growing. Come on and sing out a song and don't be shy, 'cause you'll never know till you give it a try.
All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome. Thank you, Jamie. I love that video too, because I think it's so fun and it gets me really hyped up and energetic. And I just spent an hour on the phone with a police detective doing research for a book I'm writing, and it was absolutely fascinating what I just learned, and also incredibly morbid and depressing. So I kind of needed that. Right then. So just to make sure you guys can hear me okay, correct? Because I'm showing that I'm coming through okay on my audio. Yes, awesome. So just to let you guys know, I am going to go ahead and share my desktop so I can go through these slides with you. And I'm not going to be able to see any questions that you guys are posting right away, but if you do have any questions, feel free to post it. So I'm done. I will get to your questions. And I will answer whatever I can. So if you guys have any questions along the way, and of course, if you're watching the recorded version of this, then I can't answer your questions on the video, but go ahead and send me an email, and I will most certainly try to get that to you, get answers to you as soon as I can. So you guys can see this, correct? You can see my screen showing the screen that you're looking at. It should be. You guys see it? Awesome. So let me just shrink that up, open this up. And I haven't introduced myself. My name is Tina Williams, and I've been in the industry for about 11 years. When I talk about the industry, I'm talking about network marketing in general. And I just got started on internet marketing about a year ago. In fact, my 1-year anniversary is coming up in a couple of weeks. And just to give a little bit of background on where I'm from, originally I was a makeup artist in Los Angeles. I was working in the film and the fashion industry, which was fun, and it sounded way more glamorous than it actually was. It's 14, 15, 16-hour days when I was working, and then I would go months without working. So it was always kind of up in the air, you know, how much money. So you could have a $10,000 week, which was great. People were like, oh my gosh, you just made $10,000 a week, and then you're not working for, another 6 months. So it's nice when you're working, but you didn't get that much work, and I'm sure right now it's even more difficult. And this was back then, and I was, of course, single. I didn't have any kids. I wasn't married. I wasn't even dating anybody. You don't have time to date anybody. It's a very cutthroat industry, and that's when I was introduced to network marketing. And when I first got started in network marketing, it was really pretty treacherous. I was completely broke. There was a point where I was living in my car with my dog. So for those of you who know me, I've seen a lot of people say, oh, you don't know what it's like. You live in Scottsdale and you drive this brand new BMW and you guys make 6 figures and you get to go and travel wherever you want and all these things, but it wasn't always that way. I lived in my car with my dog. There was a point where I remember my business partner at the time were going through the car trying to find change so that we could split a burger at Burger King. And, I'm very big on organic foods right now. I didn't have that option back then. And, it's because of what I've learned through this industry that I am where I am today. And it's mostly through the personal development. And what I'm going to share with you guys today is exactly what Empower Network is and what I do with Empower Network. Because it's a little bit different from what I used to do in network marketing, where when I did network marketing before with the companies I was with before, that was my sole income and that was it. And the reason being is because the way they teach you how to build those businesses is you can't really do anything else. You don't have any time for anything else. In fact, I have somebody that I know, I'm not mentioning any names, who's constantly trying to get me to go to an event. You know, whether it's a tasting party, a home meeting, all these different things, trying to get me to go to these events. I'm just not having it. First, I don't want to drive in traffic. I don't know about you guys, but I don't like traffic. I don't like driving in traffic. It doesn't make any sense. I don't want to take time away from my family. And let's be honest, who has time to spend 2-3 hours in a day to go look at something that may or may not work for them? And so something like this webinar, you know, where I'm sitting here in my workout clothes, and, you know, I just was able to squeeze in another interview for my primary career just before this webinar, was more something of what I wanted. And that just makes more sense, doesn't it? So what I'm going to do with you guys is I'm going to go through a little bit of information. And I'm going to share with you first, for those of you who are on here who end up saying, you know what, this isn't for me, I want you to walk away with saying, I got some information I love, and I got some value from that, because I don't want this to be a waste of time for anybody. And, you know, a lot of people say, well, a millionaire's time is worth $250 an hour. But, you know, here's the thing. A millionaire's time is only worth $250 an hour if they're giving you value. Otherwise, what do you care how much money people are worth if you're not getting anything from that? It doesn't make any sense, does it? So I'm going to try to provide you guys with some value tonight, and that's the first thing I'm going to start with so that we can just jump right in. And one of the first things is that I know that I have a lot of people who are on my email list, because if you're on my email list and you're probably on this webinar, who have businesses or they have a product that they're marketing. I know I have a lot of authors that are in my email list. I know I have a lot of business owners. I know I have a lot of crafting business owners. And one of the main things that I see, and it's kind of baffling to me, is that I see people who don't even have a fan page. I see that Jamie's on here, and I commend her because she just created her fan page, and she literally just launched her business 2 weeks ago. And I'm completely at odds with how many people have a fan page. It's the #1 thing you should create is a fan page. And as you guys can see here, the video that I opened up with is a Mommy Mogul marketing video. And it's part of my Mommy Mogul brand, which, by the way, is up for sale now. That's one of the things that you can do in this business. You can start brands, and you can sell your brand. So my Mommy Mogul marketing, which is actually for sale right now, and that video is a part of it, has its own fan page. It has a Mommy Mogul fan page, and this screen print here is actually pretty old. If you go to Mommy Mogul marketing on Facebook right now, there's way more fans than 115. This is when I first started with it. And the same thing with my personal fan page here. It says 650 likes. I think I'm closer to 2,000 now. I think the same thing with Mommy Mogul, I'm not sure. But the first thing you want to do is you want to create a fan page. And you want to create a fan page, one, representing yourself. And this is my fan page. I know a lot of people who are friends with me on Facebook are like, this is your personal page. This is actually my fan page. You want one that represents you, and you should have one that represents your brand, whether it be your book, your business, whether it's something generic, whatever it is, you should have, in my opinion, 2 fan pages, because you're going to have different things that are on both. So you're not going to want to always add people to your personal page. Besides, you have a 5,000 person limit on Facebook. You can only add 5,000 people. And if you're brand new, you're saying, I don't even know 5,000 people, guess what? That's going to happen pretty quickly. So you want a fan page because you're going to max out. In fact, I have my sponsor in Power Network, Tracy Walker, is at over 20,000 fans on her fan page. She already has 5,000 friends on her personal page, and she has over that many people as followers on her personal page. And that's her personally. And she has more fans than I've seen a lot of network marketing businesses have, and I'm not mentioning company names. So does it make sense when I got started in this business to say, hey, Tracy Walker, here's somebody with 20,000 fans just for her personal name to teach me what she knows? That just makes sense, doesn't it? So you want to create a fan page. And if you want to know kind of the details of what that entails, as you can see on my Mommy Mogul Marketing one, I actually have different tabs there. I have a welcome tab. There's some different promotional tools that you can do on that. And it's all things that I recommend. These are all things that we teach within my organization called the Wolfpack. You're actually going to get to hear from some of our Wolfie members who are going to share with you a little bit about the Wolfpack. And these are all things that we'll go into details with once you guys get started with the team and with the organization. But you definitely want to start a fan page. And if you decide you don't want to work with us, there are tons of tools out there where you guys can learn and do some research and read some articles and watch some YouTube videos. And then once you create your fan page, you're going to want to see how you're doing. And this is another mistake I see a lot of people doing, is that they start a fan page and they're excited about it, and then they start complaining because you said, you know what, I have this fan page, I'm posting things, and I have like 2,000 fans, and I get maybe 1 or 2 likes on a comment. And this number one question I get, what am I doing wrong? Well, first of all, I don't want to say you're doing anything wrong, but what you can do is go to edgerank.com, and you'll connect to your Facebook, and on the top right-hand corner there, as you can see, it's a select a page, so it'll automatically populate your pages in there, and you can see what your scores on your different pages. Anything over 20 is considered pretty good, or actually anything over 10 is considered pretty good. Anything over 20 is considered really good. As you can see with my Mommy Mogul score, my score is at 71. That's considered exceptional. And these are all things, again, as we teach in the Wolfpack, these are all different things that we talk about to really help your brand excel. And what this means is that we're getting much better engagement compared to other pages. When I post things on my Mogul page, people see it. It's popping up their newsfeed. There's interaction happening with it. So it means it's a very active page, not just me with posting, but with people either sharing content, or they're seeing things that they like, or they're commenting, or they're liking things. So it just means it's a very interactive page. And that's for all of us, isn't it? The next thing that you want to do is, of course, figure out your brand. Here's one of the brands that I created, and I know Anthony's on the webinar right now, and he knew I was going to list my Blog Goddess brand for sale. I decided to keep it and make that my main brand. Again, you can create brands and you can sell it. There's people who do that for a living, and this is my Blog Goddess brand. So as you can see, I have a fan page here. This is when I first created it again. I think I did this like 2 months ago. It has 38 likes on there. I think I have, Anthony, I think you saw it recently. I don't remember what it is. I think it's over 3,000 fans on there right now. And that's my Blog Goddess blog on the left-hand side, and that's actually my Empower Network blog. So a lot of people are like, what's Empower Network? It's a customized blog. You can see right down on the left-hand side, it's completely customized to my brand. It has nothing to do with Empower Network, but it uses all the Empower Network tools that are at our hands. I'll talk about in a second. The next thing is that you can brand anything. Over here is my author's brand. And you guys saw I have a Blog Goddess brand. I have a Mommy Mogul brand. I have my personal brand. And I also branded my author because I'm a writer. That's my primary career. And a lot of people think that, you know, if you look at somebody like Stephen King, he has a very specific brand. And a lot of people won't think of that right away. But what do you think about when you think about Stephen King? You think about horror. You think about psychological thrillers. You think, you know, of course, Carrie's out right now, so you think Carrie. You know, Shawshank Redemption. All these different, you know, scary stories. So he has a very clear brand. In fact, you know, you look at his books and they all have, first of all, his name's always written in the exact same font, in the exact same position on his book. That's not an accident. That's done very purposely. So he has his very clear brand. You know, you look at J.K. Rowling, same thing with her book covers. It was her entire series had a very clear brand. All her covers had very similar images to it. So you can brand yourself. She has pseudonyms for her books as well, because obviously her J.K. Rowling name has been tied in with Harry Potter so significantly. It's a billion-dollar brand, so there's obviously nothing wrong with it. But when she went to write adult books, she had to write in a pseudonym because she didn't want to have people comparing the two. Now, of course, because she's so famous, they figured it out and they knew she wrote those books anyway, but she created a separate brand, a separate pseudonym for her different books. For my author, my brand is called The Accidental Writer. On the top left-hand corner there, you'll see my blog. On the bottom right-hand corner is my website. You see similarities between the two. My story is always the same. I always share my story. If I go to a Comic-Con, if I go to a Leprechaun, whatever cons I go to, if I go to a book signing, my story is always the same because it's my story. I'm sharing how I became a writer. And it's usually shared within 30 seconds or less. So that's one of the things I'm going to recommend for you guys, is that no matter what it is you're doing, whether you're selling books or whether you are selling marketing or whether you're selling the internet, whatever it is that you're selling, you should have a 30-second or less testimonial. And it should be your name, where you came from, what you did before, what it is you do today, and what you do today and how it's helped you. And you want that story because people will remember stories. They don't remember facts. That's the number one thing you should do. You know, you look at Apple. Apple's brand is very clear. You know, you can look at the image. If you can spot an Apple product a mile away. You can spot a Donald Trump product a mile away. Is there a difference between a Donald Trump product and an Apple product? Just visually. And that's what your brand is. And I see a lot of people, one of the mistakes they do is they get so caught up in the product of their branding that they forget about themselves. Because clients are more interested in you than they are in what you sell. So you have to be really conscious of what it is you're marketing as yourself. Because if you see Donald Trump, we all clearly know what kind of character he is. You look at Stephen King, we know what kind of character he is, and that's very intertwined in the brand that they have. So the next thing that you want to do is have a website. Now, you can have somebody create a website for you, and they can get pretty expensive because these people know what they're doing. They have a lot of tools that they spend a lot of money on at their hands, and they create websites for you. It's very expensive. So if you're just getting started and you're not ready for that kind of investment yet, I totally get it. Wix.com is a really great tool. You can actually create these templates for free. And all these templates you see here are their free templates. So what makes them free is that they have a little bit of an ad banner at the bottom that talks about Wix. For, I think, less than $10 a month, I think it's $6 or $8 a month, you can remove the ad. So it's super cheap, even once it is a paid website. So I recommend having a website, absolutely, because if you don't have, if you don't have a fan page, and if you don't have a website on Facebook, if you have a fan page on Facebook and a website, you have no internet presence, and people will not take you seriously. Another thing I recommend that very few people talk about is Twitter, because a lot of people connect with people on Twitter as their primary source. So these are my free tools, and one of the things is that, you know, I said in the last year I went into internet marketing, and the reason being is because I realized that there was a need for it. And I was in network marketing for about 10 years before I looked at it. And I think throughout the last 2 to 3 years, I was looking at it and I realized what kind of need was on the internet. And I remember for the longest time, the people above me, my sponsors and my uplines, used to say, "You'll never make it with the internet. You really need to stick with belly to belly." And I don't know if any of you guys have ever heard that from your uplines before. In fact, I remember my mentor for the longest time said, "I've never met anybody who made $1 million off the internet." Well, times have definitely changed, because now all the millionaires are being made off of the internet, especially in this industry. And I've said this before, I'll say it again. The illiterate of the future are the people who do not understand the internet. The illiterate of the past are the people who cannot read a book or read paper or read print. The illiterate of the future are the people who don't understand the internet. And as you can see here, 160 million blogs as of 2012. You guys know that that number so far is already doubled in 2013. And if you look here, impact of monthly blog articles on inbound traffic for business to business and business to consumer companies. As you can see, it's growing exponentially. And guys, blogs are, a lot of people are looking at websites online and don't even realize they're looking at a blog. A lot of people think of blogs as something that is like your online diary or online journal. And it very well is, because that's very much what a blog is today. But a lot of people are looking at these really beautiful sites and not even realizing that's a blog. If you see what's called live articles or, you know, live pages, which is where it's constantly changing. If you go to a blog or a website and you see at the front it's constantly changing, articles are constantly being updated, chances are that's a blog. So a lot of people are shunning blogs, and they don't even realize that they're accessing it on a daily basis. So as you guys can see here, this is basically the Power of Empower Network. This is an article I wrote back in June, and it's still number 2 on Google after 4 months because of the internet presence that Empower Network does. And I'll talk about that, how that works in a second. And basically what happens is that when somebody Googles you and they find your information, they go to your blog, they go to your system, they're going to see your lead capture pages on there, they're going to see your banners on there, and they're going to click on it, and they're going to, and it says basically on my blog, it says, "Hey, you want to make money blogging like I do?" A lot of people are going to say, "Yeah, that's right up my alley. What do I do?" They plug in their information. Here's 2 different kind of capture pages. Some are free, some are not. That's something that I will teach you, or my team will help teach you once you get started tonight. You plug in your email, and what happens is it goes into my email. And as you guys can see here, here's one at 9:12 p.m., here's that one at 9:17 p.m. So the emails come in frequently. And basically, I don't have to do anything after this. A lot of people are like, oh, well, you know, people say fortunes in the follow-up, and I've heard people give formulas. I spend 4 hours a day following up with people because that's where money is. I'm like, oh boy, what a waste of time, because we have it all automated. You guys, if you are looking at this webinar tonight, you went through my automated system, whether you realize it or not. Because what happened is you got my email from my automated system. You plugged in your email. I had a lot of people say, it says it's asking for my email. Well, yeah, it's asking for your email. I captured your information. And you got plugged into my system, and a lot of people don't even realize it. Now I have full control over that system. I'm not selling emails. I'm not giving it away. I'm not spamming people, because of course it's illegal. This is all strictly people who are plugging into information. They know what they're plugging into. And I'm very, you know, you have to operate with integrity, and the emails come through my system. It's all automated. So basically, when Jennifer and Jeff signed up 9:12 and 9:17 p.m., chances are I was either watching a movie with my husband or doing something. It's Saturday night. I'm not going to sit there and email people. But they got an email from me right away because of the automated system. And here's all the emails they get. So you can see as the first day, they get that one email. The next day, they get another email. The next day, they get an email after that. You can space this out however you want. I change this up all the time because I'm constantly seeing what's working and what's not. So you can change it up where you can send an email once a month. You can change it up where you send an email once a day. If you don't have a lead capture system, and if you don't have autoresponders, which is what this is called, you are doing yourself a disservice. You're making your work a lot harder for you than it has to. And a little bit about Empower Network, founded in 2011. We literally just had our 2-year birthday. It was just last week. So we just celebrated 2 years. Over 100,000 customers in less than 2 years. We have the highest commission paid out in the industry. We're in every single country. So if you guys know people in different countries who are looking for a different business opportunity or income opportunity, this is most likely for them. David Wood and David Sharp are the founders. They're truly a rags to riches story. And it's definitely an incredible company. We have the most comprehensive products in the industry. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. I've had people, I actually had somebody ask me yesterday, because if I've never blogged before in my life, can I do this? And I said, absolutely. In fact, half my team has never, including myself, has never really blogged before. So we train people all the way from the very beginner to the expert. And you're actually going to hear from one of our internet marketing experts who saw the value in Empower Network. And somebody like myself who's had no experience in it saw the value in it. So it doesn't matter what kind of stage you are in learning, we have the training product for you. You know, one of the things is that I love about this is that, you know, I'm a mom, so I love staying at home with my son. That's been my goal, and I always decided that that's what I was going to do. And so you make money blogging from home. It's really that simple. Our formula is 2 hours a day, and, you know, it's all part of our training system. So the first thing, obviously, is our actual blogging system. I'm going to fly through the products because everything's available on my website, so I don't want to bore you guys. If you guys want to check out the product, it's emancipatedblogger.com. Again, it's emancipatedblogger.com. In fact, once you're done with the webinar, when I shut this off, it's automatically going to send you to my website. So see, there you go, automated system again. Our blogging system is $25. Like I said, I'm going to fly through all of this because it's already on my blog. I know you guys are busy. It's Tuesday evening. There's probably a good TV show on, so I don't want to waste your time with that when it's all available at your fingertips. And what I want to talk about is why Empower Network and why our team and why this business. And as you guys can see here is that this chart to me, and I'm a chart person, I know a lot of people aren't, but this absolutely blows my mind. Because if you look at the blue and the red lines, those are the recessions in 1990 and 2001. So just recent recessions. I mean, we're not talking about, you know, things that happen in a different economy. These are our economies right now. And those are pretty scary as it is. And as you can see, 1990 is a blue one. So each time we go through a recession, it gets worse. Do I have to repeat that? What is it? Every time you go through a recession, each recession gets worse. and drastically worse, doesn't it? And in fact, if you look at the green one, that is incredibly scary. And we're just now starting to come out of the recession. And I don't know about you guys, but it was, it was touch and go there for a while, wasn't it? And what we're seeing now is we're seeing a lot, and literally I just saw this on the news this morning. They were talking about people pushing their retirement back 5-10 years because now they have to take care of their kids longer. Obviously, you look at our healthcare is showing that we're taking care of our kids longer. I mean, 25, 26 years old is when we're now covering people for health insurance. So there's obviously a huge shift happening in our society. What's happening is that, when I was growing up, in high school, the job we had was, working behind a cash register. My first job was scooping ice cream at Haagen-Dazs. So I had, for a while there, I had one arm that had a really muscular arm and a really wimpy arm for a really long time. Pretty embarrassing. I lived in Los Angeles. I was always wearing long sleeves because it looked ridiculous. But, you see people now, it's who's working behind the registers, who's the Walmart greeters. Is it teenagers or is it the retired folks? And what I'm seeing more and more are people who are with master's degrees, PhDs, all these people who spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for a glorified, because that's what a college degree is nowadays, and they're behind the counter of Walmart, or they're working menial jobs, or they're working jobs that has absolutely nothing to do with their major. And I know there's probably some people who are listening to this and saying, I worked damn hard for my degree. I don't really appreciate that. Well, I'm not knocking the people who got the degree. I'm knocking the results of what society has done to those individuals. And people are looking for a plan B. They need a plan B. So that's where we come in. We pay up to 4 different ways. Actually 5 different ways. And you obviously don't have to be smart to do this. I can't count, apparently, because I put up to 4 ways to get paid and then put 5 different things. So, I'm living proof that you don't really have to be smart to do this. Up to 5 different ways to get paid. Retailing the product. I flew through it. I told you that I wasn't going to go into it because it's available on my site, but we can retail the product. In fact, one of our products, which is called the 15K formula, it costs $1,000. I love retailing that product because that's the stuff that I know a lot of my friends who are authors need. So that's my favorite product to retail, and because I purchased that product and I sold it, I bought it one time for $1,000, and I now own the rights to sell it. I can sell it over and over and over and over again, and I can continuously make $1,000 commission. And it's been pretty fun because you buy something once and you sell it over and over. It's like, imagine being a real estate agent who can sell the same house over and over and over again to maybe 10 different people. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Free leads to your business and services. I've already talked about that, where you can get whatever it is you're marketing. You can promote that through Empower Network. Pass up team sales. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. Residual income. Residual income is the #1 reason I'm in this industry. As an author, I get residual income with my books. I wrote a book a year ago. I'm still getting money on it today. Tom Cruise did a movie 20 years ago. They show it today. He's still getting paid. I watched Ghostbusters 2 weeks ago, which I love. Can you believe the Ghostbusters is like 30 years old? And they're still getting paid on that because they showed it on television last week. That's residual income. So how would you guys like to make residual income? Work for something one time and get paid for it over and over and over again. It's lazy man's money, isn't it? Well, I don't know about you guys, but I like being lazy. And then consultation services is another way to do this. You can get paid, I know people who are getting paid $500 to $3,000 a month just on consultation services because they've gone through our training system. Another thing that you can do that I don't even mention here is copywriting. Not copyright like a legal binding thing, copywriting with a W, where you can actually do some copywriting. Because of the services that you learn and some of the trainings you learn, you can start charging copywriting. Copywriters get paid anywhere from $75 to $200 an hour. So there's so many different ways, so many doors open up to people. There's really much more than this. Obviously, there's growing your products and all these different things, all because of the training system that we offer. And, like I said, I used to be in an industry where we were told, go to parties and go to meetings and call your friends and families and do 3-way calls. In fact, I saw somebody on my team actually talking about doing 3-way calls, and I'm like, well, that's somebody who's not plugged into our training because we don't do that anymore. If you like to do it, great, but I don't know about you guys. I like having a life. So I'm not going to sit there and make phone calls all day to people who don't want to talk to me anyway. So I'm not going to be doing that. No cold calling, no holding inventory, no having soap, lotions, pills, and bottles in your garage being stored. I live in Arizona. That would just mean everything would melt anyways. So all those days are over. If you like to do it, great. If you like doing that stuff, then this is probably not for you. Empower Network. Why Empower Network? Because of the EmpowerNetwork.com website and the EmpowerNetwork.com brand. As you can see here, just in less than 6 months, the brand itself, the website itself, has increased in value by $10 million. We ranked in the top 100 on Alexa.com, which is huge. It means that we're in the top 100 websites in the country. And people are like, 100, that's kind of not that great of a ranking. It is, because there's millions of websites out there. And we're like in competition with sites like, I think Groupon is one that we beat out. So there's a lot of big sites out there that people frequent all the time that we actually beat out. Our compensation plan, this is how we make money. So this is just a simple theoretical example. Can everybody do this? No. In fact, most people can't. But then again, most people, struggle with just trying to sign up. So if you're motivated, like I was, if you're somebody who's sick and tired of being sick and tired, if you're somebody who just wants to have a little bit of a change in life, then this might be for you. Our formula is 2 people a day through our lead system. And I know a lot of people are like, if you were like me, I was like, I don't even know 2 people. I can't even talk to that many people. I don't know that many people where it's 2 people a day. We actually teach how to gain 2 people a day signing up, and that's 730 people a year. So let's say in this formula, 730 people a year. Let's say you don't even do that well. Let's say you do half of that. And then half of those people, let's say, quit. So let's say 200 people. 200 people sign up at the $25 blogging system, just the blogging system. That's $4,000 a month in residual income. And then let's say 50 people get the inner circle, which is $100 a month. These are our products again. That's another $4,000 a month in residual income. That's $8,000 a month in residual income. Remember what I talked about with residual income. You do something once, and you get paid month after month. So it's not like you have to do those 200 signups in 1 month. This is over time. So you get 200 signups over time of this blogging system, and that's $4,000 a month in residual income. And it's really not that hard to get there. And then let's say 50 of those people get all the products. That's an additional $180,000 in a year. And so basically you made $276,000 in a year off of your own personal retail sales. This is the first way to get paid. This is just your personal sales. This isn't including what all these people do, because now you're building a sales organization. Now, I don't know about you, but I could live off of $276,000 a year. Now let's say, and if you're anything like I was when I got started, I said, okay, so show me the money, because I'm the type of person that tends to be a little bit skeptical when somebody says something. I don't know if it's a journalist in me, but I want to see documented proof. If you tell me somebody's making $1 million a year, I want to see proof. Otherwise, it's just hearsay. So Empower Network, and this is a website you can go to. It's updated daily, so it's live information, and it's audited, so you can see how much money people are actually making. So you can see here, people are actually making over $1 million a year. So I was talking about $200,000 income, and there's plenty of people doing that. And in fact, 30% of people working 5 hours a week, make an extra $5,000 a year. Would an extra $5,000 a year help the average family? Yes or no? Would an extra $5,000 a year help you? I mean, that could be a vacation. I mean, what would you do with an extra $5,000 a year? $5,000 that you didn't have last year. Some people could probably get some medical treatment that they couldn't get before. Now, what about here? Same 5 hours a week, and they made an extra $10,000. What would an extra $10,000 a week do for you? Or an extra $30,000 a week, 2 hours a week. Would you work 10 hours a week to make an extra $30,000 a year? So that's in addition to what you're doing today. Or would you work 15 hours a week to make an extra $85,000 a year? That's a part-time job for some people. I know some people working 15 hours a week as a part-time job, but they're not making $85,000 a year. And what I love is 20 hours a week, and it's $1.2 million a year. All other network marketing companies that have an income disclosure statement that I've seen, it's all 40 hours plus to make that kind of income, which is still beautiful. I loved it, which is why I still did it. But wouldn't it make more sense to work with a company that you make twice as much in half the time? Because that's what I was doing. That just makes more sense, doesn't it? So let's say half of those 50 people, remember the 50 people that bought all the products, let's say only 25 people did the same thing that you did with the retail. That's an extra $97,000 a month, an extra $1.17 million a year income. That puts you in the top 1% of income earners in the world. And what's crazy about that is in a company that's just barely 2 years old, we already have people making this kind of income. When most companies are struggling to even get started, to break even, most companies are in the red at this point, we already have people making over $1 million a year. That's powerful, isn't it? So that's the 6 months to six-figure plans, like I mentioned, 2 hours a day, blog daily, market daily, use our training system. We train you on all that stuff. One of the things I'm going to do right now is I'm going to open this up because I want you guys to hear from somebody else besides myself. I want you guys to hear from two individuals who I have the utmost respect for, who are they're working with us on the Empower Network team. They are doing incredible things, and they are also they have their testimonial that they want to share. So they're really going to share it in about 30 seconds or less. A little bit. I won't say anything else. The first person I'm introducing, remember what I mentioned earlier, that he was a six-figure income earner, or he is a six-figure income earner in internet marketing. He's somebody that's found value in this business. He's found value with the team. He's somebody I turn to all the time, so I have the utmost respect for him. I look up to him through his business. It's one of the most beautiful things about this industry is the people you meet end up becoming your family. So without further ado, I want to introduce Anthony. You there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you now.
All right. I didn't even know I was coming on, but thank you. Okay, guys, hold on. I want to shut one thing off because I hear some feedback. Better? Okay, cool. All right, guys. Everyone just heard what Tina had to say, and I can listen to her talk all night, and what I'm going to touch on right now is the products because of my internet marketing background, and you know, obviously the team is amazing, but what I want to talk about is real quickly is I've been in internet marketing for 7+ years. I'm a six-figure income earner, and I was before I joined Empower Network. And the reason I joined Empower Network is because of the leadership, because of Tina, you know, because of some of the other people, you know, in the organization. The leadership is very powerful. And as I started going through the training, I realized that I didn't know as much as I thought I did. And if I had access to this training, it wouldn't have taken me so long to make money online. And the training is amazing. The new blogging platform actually makes me want to blog. And the way I work on the internet, I work a little different. So I actually have to hold myself back from blogging because I don't want to blog 10 times a day, but I'm so tempted to. But you know, the blogging is amazing. Like Tina was explaining about the Alexa ranking. That's what makes it so powerful. Besides it being easy to use, you rank high very, very fast, you know, in all the search engines because of the Alexa ranking. And the training product's really a second to none. And, you know, Tina's heard me say this, some of the other people on the webinar have heard me say this, but I really felt like an amateur when I was going through the training products. And coming from me, you know, in my personality type to admit that, it really says a lot, products, and what they've put together is amazing. Tina um, is really, she's an amazing leader. What she's done with the Wolfpack totally blows my mind, and she really, I've really never seen anything like it. And there was a time I didn't think, I didn't want to be a part of a team. And that's why I like the name the Wolfpack, because I used to call myself the one-man Wolfpack, because I did everything on my own. But being able to rely on Tina and everyone else in the team and bounce ideas off each other, everyone helps each other, and I don't know. I really enjoy it, and Tina has the ability of turning brand new people into leaders almost overnight. I was scared to talk online. I always hid behind the computer. And now I'm doing videos. She's got me on webinars. She's got me on phone calls. So I really encourage anyone, if that's on this webinar, to get in touch with Tina and get on board right away. It really is life changing. And if you have some motivation, a little bit of drive, the sky's the limit with this business and with this team. So, Tina, that's really all I have to say, and I love you and appreciate you, and thank you for having me on.
Thank you, Anthony. I love and appreciate you too, and of course, always love the knowledge that you share with us. And sorry I threw you off like that. I know how that is. So what I want to do is introduce someone who has, she's actually not somebody, actually Anthony isn't either. There's somebody that, they're both in my organization, but I haven't personally sponsored them. And that's one of the really cool things about this business, is that you actually become friends with people. You meet people through people to people that you never would have met otherwise. And so she's somebody that, she's a business owner. She's also somebody who's come from corporate America. So she's very knowledgeable and understanding of the kind of the pains that come with that. And, she is somebody that I've watched really grow in the last 6 months as far as the industry. I've seen kind of what she's going through as far as internet marketing has been the kind of same growth I've gone through, because we both came into this business really being like, oh my gosh, what's going on? So a lot of times I see her and I see some of the stuff that she's like, I'm lost. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. I totally feel the same way. And sometimes I'm amazed at how she figures things out that I was never able to figure out myself. And, I'm so excited she made it on. She's in Florida, so she's in beautiful weather like I am. And she's somebody I call a very close friend of mine now, and I'm very grateful that we have Empower Network because I met her through the business. And I'm so thankful that she's able to hop on with us. So we have Miss Jen Pokash.
Hey, Tina, how are you?
I'm fantastic, thank you.
Wow, okay. I think when I got an echo going on. Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you fine.
Okay. Oh, that's better. I think originally what we had said I was going to talk about was involvement with the Wolfpack. And I think 4 months ago, I didn't know what the Wolfpack was. I had barely just started to understand what Empower Network was. And like you said, you didn't sponsor me. I was sponsored by Terrence, actually, Terrence Freeman, who I was familiar with from another MLM business we were involved with. I was curious about blogging, mainly to help promote my husband's family business that we're involved with. And, I knew it was a lot more than just getting online and writing. I understood that. I just didn't know anything about it. I'm not a tech idiot, but I also had no idea really about anything related to internet marketing. I heard terms like SEO and Google Analytics and WordPress and things like that. I heard horror stories about people learning WordPress. So I knew I needed something that was going to be a little more plug and play. I just didn't know anything like that existed. And then I learned about Empower. Actually, my husband was following Terrence's post and talked me into it. And make a long story short, because Terrence sponsored me, we wound up in the Wolfpack. And I've got to say, I've never been involved with a team in any, well, I'm going to break this down to two categories. In any direct sales or MLM business I've been involved in, which haven't been that many, but there's been a few, and I've been maybe involved with a probably could count on 2 fingers how many close teams I was involved with in my corporate days that were this supportive. So many times you've got people that want to hang on to their information, especially in the corporate world. You know, they want to hang on to it. They want to make sure that they guarantee their job security. They want to keep you down. You know, they're going to just spoon feed you the tidbits that you need. That is not it at all here in the Wolfpack. Everybody's got some different levels of expertise and knowledge. I mean, Anthony comes with a plethora of information on internet marketing. Tina is just, you know, marketing 101. She just has it all down. She understands what she's doing. She learned a lot about marketing on her own from, you know, trying to publicize her books. It's an equal division of supporting you and helping you out, as long as they see that you're making an effort to try to get something done. But there's also a little bit of, you know, there's going to be a little butt kicking, let's say, if they know that you're capable of doing something that you're just not doing. Probably for about the last 3 weeks, maybe almost a month or so, it was part-time because my husband's business is kicking into gear down here. We're a seasonal business, and once the weather gets better, all the snowbirds come in. So my time all of a sudden was very, very constricted, like it was not towards in the summer. But a lot of it was also, I was just trying to be a little too perfect. I'm a little bit of a type A. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, which is good and it's bad. There's a downside and upside. So I was knocking myself over the head about not liking my blog posts and just not realizing it was a natural progression. And you know, just by listening and getting a little bit of, you know, maybe not directed at me directly, but a little butt kicking on some webinars and things that were going on, I realized, okay, knock it off. Stop trying to be perfect and just let it evolve. And one of the other things I had been not avoiding purposely, but just kind of sidestepping, saying I'll get around to it, was just finally getting it done and getting a webinar done. That's another thing. Tina is actually very smart because she locked out a couple of things in our group training that you can't have access to until you've done every step along the way. And I had done everything except the webinar, and I hate being excluded from stuff that I know I should be able to get to. So she is quite sly when it comes to things like that. But it got me off my keister, and I reached out for a little bit of help today with, you know, how to do the PowerPoint and so on. So the Wolfpack is one of the best teams I've been associated with, pretty much, like I said, with maybe 1 or 2 others in my corporate days. And if you do join and get in with Empower Network and you are fortunate enough to be in the Wolfpack, you're just going to be in for a lot of learning, a lot of support. You will be asked, you know, if you have a specialty or some knowledge, you'll be asked to share, but you'll be delighted to. So I just want to say thank you. Awesome. Just thank you for everything, and thanks to everybody in the Wolfpack.
Thank you, Jan. I'm sitting here cracking up because I did lock out the team out of half the training. It's a stubborn streak in me, I guess you could say, because I'm like, darn it, they have to do this before I put in the rest of it. And a lot of it was that I've just been so busy that I came up with a reason not to put that in yet either. So thank you again, Jan, for sharing your story. One of the things is that we are actually a really, really great camaraderie with our team. And, you know, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine who is very conscientious of what the Wolfpack is and what we do, but she's not in the Wolfpack. And, you know, I was talking to her about bonuses that they offer on webinars and that sort of thing. And, you know, she actually brought it up. She says, you need to stop offering bonuses because what you guys have in your team is more than anybody else can ever offer for any amount of money. And, you know, when she said that to me, I kind of got goosebumps because that's how valuable this team is. I'm not talking about me, and I appreciate that Jan and Anthony spoke so highly of me, and I truly do appreciate that. But it really is the entire team. We have, and Jan said it right the last second, it's really about, you know, you really do bring what you can to the table because everybody does have something to offer. And we are very big on letting your voice be heard. You won't see anybody stage hogging in the Wolfpack, which I see in so many different organizations. Everybody is given equal opportunity if they take it. Everybody's given the stage. Everybody's given a point where they can be heard. Their voice is heard. Their ideas are heard. There's very few ideas that we are like, no, I don't think it's going to work. We usually give a chance and opportunity to everything because you never know. Because the things we think will work don't, the things we think don't will. And, so one of the things is that we do follow the 5 levels of leadership here with the John Maxwell book. And some of the people on the team are probably like, well, I didn't even know we were doing that. And we do, because if you read the book, he's very big on the 5th level of leadership, where you want to be is where people follow you because they want to, because they yearn to. And so that's where we are in the Wolf Pack. So I don't offer any bonuses. I don't tell people anymore, I used to, hey, if you sign up by this time, then you will, make this, I'll give you this bonus and this free product, because what we have here is more than enough. And I don't want to pressure anybody to sign up that doesn't want to sign up, because I want people to sign up with the Wolfpack. I want people to sign up with our organization for really $25 a month, because that's something that they desire and they're willing to work for. Because we do also screen who signs up with us. We don't just take anybody's organization. You have to have a desire to learn, a desire to grow, and you have to be coachable. So if you're not that person, we'll probably tell you, this may not be for you right now. But hey, you know what? If something changes, come back to us. And I've said no to a lot of people, and it actually kind of surprises them. They're like, well, you just say no to me? You're a salesperson. You're supposed to be selling me the product. I'm like, yeah, I said no to you, and I'm going to say no to you again. The people that are on the team are people that not only chose us, but we chose them. We chose them because we love working with them, and that's what we have to offer. For those of you who are watching the recording and you don't get access to the website, again, it's emancipatedblogger.com. And I'm really excited because, we have so much going on for us. Empower Network is a vehicle for us. And when I first took a look at this industry, it was very easy for me to get started. But a couple of years ago, I kind of took a step back because I was burned out. I was burned out on all the meetings and the one-on-ones and the phone calls, and I went back to corporate America. And then I had my son. And I went on maternity leave with him, and 9 weeks on maternity leave, and I didn't want to go back to work. I wasn't a huge fan of my job. I worked for one of the major pharmaceutical companies. I'm not mentioning any names, but they suck, and I hate them. And I had to go back to work. And he was 3 months old, and we went to go pick him up from daycare. My husband and I worked at the same company. He still works there. And we went to go pick him up from daycare. And if you know me, you've probably heard the story again, but I'm going to share it again. And when we picked him up from daycare, he's just 3 months old, 12 weeks old, just tiny little baby, and he's covered in scratches all over his face. And in fact, his little onesie, his white onesie, was covered in blood. And I sat there and I was in tears. I'm like, what happened to him? And it's, for those of you who are moms and even dads, you have this paternal and maternal instinct to protect your child. And when that's taken from your hands, it's the most helpless feeling in the world. And it turned out another child who's like a year old got to him, scratched him up and stuff, and it would happen at a time when the teacher turned her back on him for just 1 second, or that's the story we're told. And I don't know about you guys, but as a parent, you say that would not have happened in my care. Because there's something about protecting your child that's different than anybody else who watches your child for you. And so for me, I said to myself, and I said to my husband on the way home, because that was my only source of income at the time. I wasn't an author. I didn't have anything fancy. Nothing else was going on. That was my sole source of income. We needed both of our incomes. And I told my husband on the way home, I said, I will stay home with Jackson, and I will do it, and I will do it soon, and I will never look back. And sure enough, when he was 9 months old, I guess what? First thing I signed up with this industry. When he was 9 months old, I was able to quit my job. I fired my boss, literally. I wasn't nice about it because he was a jerk. I fired my boss. I walked away from corporate America, and I've never looked back since. And it's because of this industry. And we're told you're given 2 opportunities in life to make a difference. I don't know if this is your first one or if this is your second one, but I know it's one of them. And it doesn't matter, people say, I'm lucky, I'm not lucky. I just took advantage of an opportunity that was given to me at the time. And that's exactly the position you're in today. So I don't care whether you get started with us part-time, full-time, just make sure it's something. And I'm going to end with the video that I started with, because I know a lot of you weren't on there. But besides that, I want to thank you guys for joining me on this evening, and thank you again to Anthony and to Jan for sharing their stories so openly, and look forward to working with you in the future and hoping to welcome you to the Wolfpack.